This year, the O-line will be top 15, and I'll show you why the left guard position will make or break our O-line this year. Welcome back. You on the BART. Next stop, the trenches.
Just win, baby.
Yo, yo, yo. You on the BART. You're on the Bay Area Raiders Talk. It's your host, Black the quarterback, and I'm here once again for the series. He's running the series right now. My Nizzle, Fizzle, Washington. What's up, brother?
How you doing, bro?
I'm good. Man, we got a good show today. And, we want to know if this O-line can crack the top 15. This Raider offensive line features a mix of established vets and recent high draft picks. So in 25, we had 11 different starters. And we were ranked what? Dead last. 32. And guess who our best player was on the O-line last year? Jordan Meredith. So just to give a little context, Seattle was 15th and the Ravens were 16th. That's according to the PFF. And so I think we can crack the top 15 barring injury. What you think?
Oh yeah, for sure. We went out there and got all the right pieces that we needed to get up there on the O line, especially getting the center. That's like the catch of the season for us, dude, and of the off season. Next to getting the coach, that's the next biggest thing that we did in the off season was getting that guy. We needed that bad.
Yeah, that is dope that we were able to land two top free agents, so to speak. Got the top head coach that everybody was wanting, and then we also did the same with a player with Linderbaum. I've been saying his name wrong. I'm about to correct it. I've been saying his name wrong. It's Linder, not Linden. Linderbaum. So, yeah, that was big. And, we won't win any games, and ultimately we can't win a championship if the Raiders can't protect the quarterback.
Or if we can't run the ball.
So let's take a look at the projected starters. Y'all let me know which area code y'all that is representing the only nation, the Raider Nation. Make sure you put in the chat, put in the comments what area code you're in, because we need to know where the nation at. It's just not in California. The nation is everywhere. We worldwide, baby. So let's take a look at Tyler Linderbaum. So he's going to pretty much be our quarterback of our line. And he's an anchor. He's going to be one of the anchors, if not the biggest anchor. And he's the highest paid center, and we gave him the bag. So we putting a lot on his plate, and he will be the quarterback of this line, which is good because we always say that we want that center to be a dog. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what represents the O-line. If the O-line is soft, or if the center is soft, the O-line is going to be considered soft. Just like last year, Meredith was our center, our O-line soft. So we got a big dog now. And when I say big dog, I'm thinking something more like a Cane Corso. We'll call him a Cane Corso. We'll give him the Cane Corso title. So what do you think about Tyler?
His stats speak for themselves, bro. The work that he's put in what the last 2-3 years, right? He's only he's real young. He's only been in the league 2 or 3 years, and and it's crazy that it's like that. But we got a really good center early in his career, which is pretty abnormal. Usually, people don't give these guys up like they gave them up, and that's we got really lucky that they weren't able to afford to keep him, because that's what basically happened is they over extended themselves in the payment plans, and they couldn't reel him in. So their loss is our gain.
Oh, it absolutely is. He was coming off his rookie contract, so he was in the league about 4 years. Mm-hmm. So, and that's just enough to make him a veteran in this league, especially when you're already playing at a high level. When you playing at a high level already, and you about 4 years in, and you're the anchor of that line, yeah, I'll give him the status of veteran. So, so he's a 3-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah, and in a short little 4-year career, I mean, what more do you want?
Right. He started all 17 games. He played over 1,000 snaps. So in the pass protection, he only allowed 2 sacks and 1 QB hit across 536 pass blocking snaps. And in his run blocking, he was the anchor of the Ravens defense that led the NFL with 5.3 yards per carry. That's nice. That's good. So that means we should be able to run the ball with Genty. I mean, at least he won't have to do the Michael Jackson and moonwalk past somebody to get to the line of scrimmage. So maybe we could be aggressive with the run game this year.
I think you mean beat it. That's what I think. I think you mean beat it.
We'll go with beat it. So his PFF grades, he finished 80.2 overall, his grade, which was 5th amongst the NFL centers, and a dominant 83.7 run blocking grade, which was 4th. So according to Next Gen stats, he allowed the pressures in an average of 3.64 seconds, the second longest duration among all centers, despite blocking one-on-one at the highest rate in the league at 49.7. Sounds good to me, bro.
Yeah, that's that. If you give somebody 3 or 4 seconds, that's pretty good, man. Better than 2 seconds.
Yeah, definitely better than 2 seconds. I know we didn't get to the 3 seconds last year. I think we were around like 2.89 or something like that. But if you can get Kirk Cousins that kind of time, I think that'll be good for us because he'll know what to do with the ball. He'll know where to go with the ball. And then we'll also get Mendoza up to that speed. He's pretty cerebral. So I'm thinking that it won't be a problem with him acclimating to that as well. But we just got to make sure we get these quarterbacks time, because otherwise we will not win anything. We will not win anything if our center position ain't right. And we already, and it's obvious. It's obvious. We've already proven that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, everything starts in the trenches, right? But I know a lot of people are like, no, you got to build the trenches out. Okay. But at the same time, when you have the opportunity to get who you need to get now, we're not going to be number 1 pick next year. We may not even be in the top 5. So I know that everybody's hoping that, we can skip this year and maybe get a quarterback next year. We're not going to be that bad to get a pick next year. That's why it's go time, in my opinion. I mean, if we're that bad next year, then maybe we do pick another quarterback. How about that? I don't know.
No, it's go time, bro. The time is now. The stars are lining up right now.
Yeah.
Like we always been trying to plan ahead, complain about the positions that we're not in. And then when we finally get in that position, now is the time. Now is what it is. We were able to get a top tier head coach, able to help our dismal O-line by getting arguably the best center in the league for what we need him to do anyway. We need a running team. We're a running team. So I mean, I don't think of a better fit that would happen, that would work. That's right now, that's available right now. So that's cool. I think we're in good position right there with the Kane Corso,
Yeah,
Tyler Lindenbaum.
we also got the number one spread zone offensive line coach too in the league. So we got a lot of good stuff that came out of this little. We wouldn't. None of those guys would probably be here if it wasn't for Kubiak. We got to be honest with ourselves.
Oh, I would agree.
He's attracting more talent to come here than what we had in the past. Because no one wants to come to a team that's losing and that's going to continue to lose, no matter how much you pay them. Right? The more, and then they don't. Then they end up slacking off. Like that part of the Raiders. That's what I want to see for the Raiders. I'm tired of these guys coming over here and then not doing nothing. We pay them all this money and then they don't end up doing nothing. They just end up slacking off. And this ain't the tail end of Linderbaum's career. He's still in the beginning. He's in year 4, going to be in year 5 or whatever. Like this is the beginning of his career. It ain't the end. Like we're used to bringing people in here that are old and let's see, give them one last chance and see if they got anything left in the tank. Forget that. That worked in the 80s, bro. It ain't worked since then. It ain't worked since 1984.
Yeah. The time is now. You're right. And that's what I was going to say. I was like, usually we bring in players at the end of their career, give them the bag, and then they just say, okay, cool. I'm not going to get any other bigger contract anyway. So I'm just gonna enjoy being in Oakland. I'm gonna enjoy being in Las Vegas. I'm a blow big. You know what I'm saying? And then win, lose, or draw, I'm still gonna have fun. And then I'm gonna go and ride out in the sunset with my bag. That's usually what happens.
Oh yeah.
So it's cool. It's good to, like you said, it's refreshing to see this guy at the peak of his career, coming off his rookie contract. He should be in full swag mode now. Kane Corso.
Yeah, we need and that's what Kubiak's bringing to the team, right? We said it before, right? We need youth, and youth is key. We brought in great grandpa father time Pete Carroll last year. Great. He runs around and has a lot of energy, but apparently the game has passed him by. And he allowed a lot of mistakes to happen. We can go over Chip Kelly and his son with the offensive line and the play calling, and like that's all on him. He should have fired him earlier, and he should have fired his son. And we need to bring in the youth. And there's nothing wrong with having a young team and coaching them up and letting the team gel together. And hopefully Kirk Cousins can come over here and do what he needs to do and get us and win us some games. Because that's what we need him to do. We just need him to come in here, win some games, get the kid his confidence, learn a little bit on how to be a professional, how to prep, how to do these things, and go from there. I mean, that's what we need. We don't need no old guys here, man. Well, I'm tired of picking up these old dusty fucks.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. We definitely needed a youth movement, and if we couldn't get Ben Johnson last year, I wasn't mad at the Pete Carroll hire, but you're right. You're the head coach. You're the elder statesman. You were supposed to see what was going on, and maybe he did, and I don't know. But regardless, it all lands on him, and he could have fired his son. I mean, but you can't fire him without firing Chip Kelly, because Chip Kelly was ultimately the issue there. But I mean, it probably was hard to coach up that scheme, and we didn't really have a scheme. But that's cool. He out of here, and so now we course corrected really, really quickly, and I'm excited. But speaking of course correction, though, let's talk about my man Jackson Powers Johnson, the law firm of Jackson Powers Johnson, JPJ.
Mm-hmm.
He got, uh, he's gonna look like he's gonna play right guard this year, right? And he moved from center to guard because that was Pete Carroll messing with it, tweaking with it. Maybe his son suggested it or whatever, and it kind of messed up JPJ because they gave him a role change. I think he's a good aggressive player.
Absolutely.
Another dog. I liken him to like a Rottweiler. I'm gonna give him a Rottweiler status because they got good working intelligence and they got trainability. They trainable, and he's aggressive and they mean. Rottweilers are more consistent in learning complex tasks than a lot of dogs. So,
Well, I just want a
yeah,
gritty mean. I just want a gritty mean team again, dude. I want that offensive line to be mean and gritty, bro. They have to know that it's going to be a down and dirty game, and they have to be physical. And in order to be the physical, right? I said this. I keep saying this. In order to be physical, you got to run. Got to run the ball, and you got to stop the run. That's what being physical to your boy means. If you can't run the ball, you can't be physical. If you can't stop the run, you ain't being physical. So, that to me sets the stage. The offensive line is going to set the stage for the defense, right? And how they come out and how they start acting. They're going to pick up that persona, and that's what we want. We want them to start feeding off of each other. We want them to come out here and be like, "Oh, look at those guys are dogging these guys. He just rode that guy. JPJ just fucking put that guy on his back." You know what I'm saying? And then they come out here and then they're like, "Yeah, well, let's go out and get this shit. Let's go get the ball. Let's go ball hawk. Let's go make some plays." That's what. And I don't think we were doing that last year or for the last few years because there was no real bright spots. There's no like it was hard. It's hard for the defense to get up and try and make plays that if they don't feel like and the offense is off of the field 40 minutes a game. Like you can't win a game with the defense on the field 40 minutes a game, bro. It's literally impossible. Even 30 minutes. Like the most you're going to get out of your defense is going to be 25 minutes, 26 minutes. And that's a long time for a defense to be on the field too in a 60-minute game.
Yeah, long time, very long time. That's why we're going to have to run the ball control. And like you said, we got to get back to the grit, and I heard Kubiak say, Ice Cube said, we're going to go back to our grittiness like in our past. And that's what we want. That's what we need. So, in 2024, though, his rookie season, JPJ, he played 15 games. It was real promising because he was looking really, really good. He played 15 games. And then last year, he was hampered by injuries and coaches' decisions. They was messing with my man's head, pause. And he was only available 8 games, started 7 of them. He should start all the games, but I guess he's coming back from concussion on one of them. And then he ended the season early with a season-ended injury in November. So he ended up playing 354 snaps, allowing 2 sacks and 10 total pressures. That's kind of a lot. So I think he'll fix that. He finished with a 63.8 PFF grade, ranking 37th amongst qualifying guards. So it's not bad. Hopefully he get back to, where he was. Now that we know for sure where he's going to play, which is not center. I think it's a good thing though because he has center knowledge, so it'll be easier for him to understand what Linderbaum is saying and what the line needs to do and helping Glaze out on that right side. So that'll be good. So I think that we kind of have 2 smart guys in the middle. That's why we kind of started Meredith because he was supposed to be smarter than JPJ at this point. But if you don't have that dog in you, you don't have that dog in the trenches, they gonna run and pillage and run through the house. And they gonna get home, which is the quarterback.
Yeah, JPJ. I hope they're not going to have him with that retard helmet cover on his head this year, bro. That shit looks ridiculous. I don't know what the hell they think.
Condoms?
I don't know what the hell they think that little pad on that helmet's doing. I know it looks really cute and all, but it ain't doing a fucking thing for anybody's brain. I'm just letting you know that right now.
The Guardian helmet.
Yeah, shit's a retard helmet, bro. That's the dunce hat for offensive linemen and shit.
Yeah, it's kind of like wearing a brace when you're not injured.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because you think you have some sort of protection or whatever. Yeah. So I think that's kind of what that is.
Yeah, it's a feel good thing. It's like the NFL is like, look, we're protecting them. We're putting little helmets on their heads, and look, we're trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, they look like bobbleheads. Yeah, they look like bobbleheads. To me, it look like a target. Like, I'm gonna hit you for sure. Because you don't like to get hit. That's what that mean to me. That means you don't like to get hit when you run around there with the helmet, condom, Guardian helmet, or whatever on. But now it's not so bad when you are O lineman, because I could kind of understand O lineman. But as O lineman, I'm pretty sure they look at the other O lineman like, oh, he's soft. Now, when I see wide receivers, little body, big old head, they look like NFL jams or something. I don't know.
They look like bobbleheads. The wide receivers look like bobbleheads with that shit on there.
No,
heads
for
all
sure.
big and shit, and their little ass body.
Yeah. So moving further along the right side of the line, here's a big question that we have this year. Mr. DJ Glaze. DJ Glaze. He the only lineman to start every game last year, so that's a good thing. That's like consistency, win, lose, or draw, especially being part of that clusterfuck of a line that we had.
Right.
You know, and he played 17 games in 2024 as rookie season, and he started 14. So this is year 3 for him. So he's got to see the mediocre or the bad, because the line before last year was bad. He saw the ugly. Now we're looking for the good now in year 3. This is the time.
Well, he was ugly. He was ugly last year because of the circumstances he was in, I believe. Mm-hmm. I don't think he personally took a step back. I think the system made him take a step back. I think the coaching staff helped him take a step back. They didn't do him any favors. And I think that this year, this offensive line coach is going to come in here and get these guys whipped into shape. And it may not be the first year; it might be next year. But as long as I see progression, I'm not tripping. As long as we're progressing. When we're regressing is when I have a problem. And we massively regressed last year, pretty much in every position on the team. Bowers regressed. I know he got hurt, but he was regressed. Jency was mid because of the offensive line. Geno Smith was mid because of the offensive line. Like everything was mid, bro. Everything regressed. Now we took a kind of a half a step forward in 23 or 24, and then last year we just took 2 steps back. So now we got to go and take 2, and now we got to double that time up. And if we don't, to even get back to where we were 2 years ago. So that's what up, Willie Wayne? That's just where I'm at with that. You know, we got it now. We got put behind the 8 ball even further now because of last year. Like the coaching staff didn't do us any favors, you know, not just in the draft wise either, you know, all the way around. Like they didn't play. We got another offensive lineman that we got, you know, really early in the season or in the draft, but we didn't even get to see him play. We only got to see one of the draft picks play. And I don't know if that's because of the coaching staff or they don't like the guy. I don't know if they didn't like JPJ last year. I don't know what was going on with these guys, but whatever it was, it's pissing me off because it wasn't what was best for the team. It was what was best for how they felt. And that's not what that's not what this shit's about. You got to do what's right. Even the homeboy said, we got to do what's right for the team, right? Mendoza, we got to do what's right for the team. You got to come in here. And if you don't do what's right for the team, then it's a problem. The shit is team first.
Yeah. I think now that you say that, Pete Carroll don't like playing rookie or young players, and he want them to develop, and he thought he had a couple years and he might have was going to let them loose next year, which would be this year, but he didn't survive the year, so the plan backfired, and it didn't work out for him. So I kind of think that, like you were saying, like the coaching was kind of messing with the line, and we didn't get a chance to see a lot of our potential on that line because we was already in survival mode for most of the year.
Well, if you look at Meredith, dude, how could you not see how horrible he was at center, bro? No, you're watching. He's watching the same fucking games we are. He's watching the tape every fucking Monday, and he's like, and how do you not look at him and say, "Well, Meredith, you're getting your shit pushed in. You're getting pushed back, and how are we going to fix this?" He just fucking ignored it, dude. He just kept putting it on the back burner, and then when he couldn't put it on the back burner anymore, he brings in Kappa. Like what? You know, that's just mistake. These are rookie mistakes as a head coach that he's been in the league for way too long to be making these dumb decisions, bro. Like, that's just stupid. Stupid.
What up, Willie Wayne? Well, I'm gonna label DJ Glaze a pit bull. I'm gonna say
All right.
he's a pit bull on our line.
All right.
He's known for his emotional intelligence, and pit bulls are known for the tenacity. Now, that's the thing. What we need to see out of him is that tenacity. We need him to be pit bull vicious, because right now he a pit putt,
Right.
and he's growing fast. And like you said, he done been through the fire now. So now we're gonna let him off the leash. Year 3, let's see what he do. Let's see what he do.
Let's see. I agree.
Let's see. We need him to be vicious, though.
You know, we don't even know. Like I said, we don't even know what we got in those rookies and the rookies that we picked last year because we didn't even get to see them. We might be sitting on little gold nuggets and we don't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Yeah.
then and same thing with the wide receiver core, right? With Bach and everybody else. They weren't whatever Strata. We weren't able to we brought in Lockett and all these other dudes. So Lockett and those guys started taking reps. Like, you know what I mean? What are you doing? I understand you're trying to develop, but come on, man. You can't just be bringing in old. That's another old guy. We're bringing in an old guy. Okay. But what did we get out of it? Well, Geno Smith was familiar with it. How did that work out for us? Not very well. You know, I would have
What
rather
up, AE? What up, AE?
I would have rather seen more of Bach and Jefferson. But it's, you know, I don't make the call. It's the coach's call. You know, these guys aren't gonna learn how to develop and get the game time until you give them reps. All right. And all of these guys should be playing again, you know, all these guys should be playing in the preseason. You know what I'm saying? Like all these little offensive linemen that we got last year and Glaze. I think those guys. I think Linderbaum and JPJ should probably sit out for preseason, right? But you let all the younger guys, the guys that had kind of a problem last year, that haven't picked up the system, or we have to see what we got. I want to see what we got. Let's let a little competition happen between the offensive linemen during the preseason. And go from there, and then we'll pick our O-line.
Yeah. Sit them out preseason. Well, like the first, how many preseason games is it?
We got 3.
3. They're not gonna play the last one. They can really only play the second one.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. So you might be right. Yeah. What's up, AE though? What's good, brother?
Yeah,
He
you
said
guys doing it.
just living here in a healthy breathing. Can't complain. I feel you. Hey, can we rate that? Can we rate that like button, por favor, por favor? Can we rate can we rate the like button, please? Come on, chat raiders, rate the like button. Let's go to the other side of the line now. To the left side. To the left. To the left.
Everything you want is to the left.
Let's start with our main man. Another anchor. We got two anchors. We got a yacht now. We got a yacht. You know, yachts need two anchors.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So we got two anchors. Colton Miller at the left tackle, veteran offensive lineman. He's our longest tenured player.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. And
He's
so
getting old.
he consistently ranks among the league's top pass blockers, often earning a high PFF grade, including an 86.5 overall in 2025. Now, a lot of questions about him, though, is his injuries. Now, some people are starting to say he's starting to get hurt a lot. I kind of disagree. Well, maybe like recently he got hurt, but let's go down his injury history real quick. In 2025, he hurt his ankle. He sustained a hairline fracture and a high ankle sprain in week 4, which led to him going on IR.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the 23-24 season, his shoulder, he missed multiple games late in the season and went through the offseason surgery, which is not bad for old lineman. They always be banging though. So he ended up starting the season on the PUP list. And then in 2020, he suffered an ankle injury that caused him to miss his first career game after 40 games starting. So he was a pillar of consistency until then. And then little injuries, got a couple of surgeries. Hey, we just gave him the bag. We gave you the bag last year. And it's time for you got to pay up these next 2 years, though, regardless. 2018, he did have some knee and elbow injuries, but he played through them. He played through significant knee injuries his rookie season, and he didn't miss a start. So I'm not worried about his toughness. I'm not worried about it. But it's time for him to earn that extension, though.
Oh, definitely. And my thing is with Colton Miller's, just it's just he's been getting beat up a little bit. The high ankle sprain is actually worse than a hairline fracture. Actually, it takes a little bit longer to heal from that than it does a fracture. Sometimes they'd rather you break something than like sometimes you get a really bad sprain, and it's easy, and they'd be like, well, it'd be easier if you broke it. So hopefully he can stay in shape this year, and hopefully he's been doing his off season program with lifting weights and getting healthy, staying in shape. All these things are going to come into account. But yeah, I hope he's able to come back this year and perform like he has in the years past, because we need him now more than ever if we're going to be doing the next couple of years.
Yeah, the thing about that high ankle sprain was that he got rolled up on too, so that wasn't really his fault.
That's what normally happens, bro. You're not even looking, and next thing you know, you're rolled up. You can't be blocking and looking behind you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he is a dog, though. He's a dog, and the dog comp I'm gonna give him, he gonna be the German Shepherd, my favorite. Smart, quiet killer, controlled aggression, quiet. Because the German Shepherd can sit in the corner and be quiet, don't move. You'll forget it's there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He's a protector of the blind side, aka the home. You don't want nobody to get home on the quarterback. So I'm gonna liken him to a big German Shepherd. I like German Shepherd. Those are my favorite dogs. So Colton Miller, we need you to show up this year. So we just went through Linderbaum, solid. JPJ, promising to solid. DJ Glaze, not bad. Got some experience now. Wait for him to turn the corner a little bit. Colton Miller, no corner to be turned. We need you to show up on the block. So we looking good so far to me. A lot of people think our O-line was bad, and I was trying to tell people our O-line isn't that bad. It's not that bad. It was just the scheme and then the injuries, and then everything just kind of unraveled at that point. So now that's why I think we can, like you said, we can 2x this thing. We're not a bottom half O-line. They had us projected at like 18th or 19th last year, all things considering. It's without a Tyler Lindenbaum.
Yeah, I like the Millen walls. They're a little bit more wiry. They're a little bit more choppy. They're the Millen walls. The Belgian Millen walls, they're like German Shepherds, but they're a lot more they call them the alligator. They like to chew, and they're very active. They're high energy dogs. They're a cousin of the German Shepherd. And they're definitely a little bit more mouthy, and they're definitely a lot more high energy. They're a hyper dog. You got to walk them a lot. They need a lot of training. They like to work. You know, German Shepherds will chill, but them Millen walls, they like to they go off. Yeah, Milt. Yo, I'm mute. You're on mute.
Thanks, bro. I was like, high energy. That's not Colton Miller so much. But I said, but we might need to get one of those to put at this left guard position because we don't know who's going to play left guard. And the question is, who's going to play left guard? So is the incumbent thing to believe is going to be Jordan Meredith? Now, that would be interesting because Jordan Meredith, he started 11 games. He started 11 of 13 games at center and at right guard, right? And he logged 676 offensive snaps and earned a 57.7 PFF grade. He notably struggled in the pass protection with 4 sacks, allowing 20 total pressures. But his season ended prematurely. In December, due to an ankle injury that landed him on IR. Now, he was our best lineman last year, but I think he's the weakest lineman if he was to start this year. So, and he didn't even play left guard. He played right guard. So, what do you think we should do with Jordan Meredith?
I think he's going to be depth. That's what I think he should be. I think he should be depth. I don't think we should put him in a position that's the blind side. We can't have him over there. And Colton Miller can't be picking up a double team and helping that guy out and helping him out every time, because then he's going to leave. That's even more susceptible for someone else to come up the middle really easy. So that's something that we need to solidify, and they need to work out, maybe even in the draft, in the 3rd or 4th round, whatever. We can't get them in the 2nd round. We're not doing that. We need that Lee Hunter. We need to get Lee Hunter. So I think that's something that's a position that we need to look for, maybe in the draft, or maybe later on, maybe as in the free agency market. I don't know. They're gonna have to figure it out. But you don't want to leave that left side vulnerable. Like you don't want to do that.
Yeah, we don't want the leak to come from there.
No.
But I mean, at least though, we could concentrate to where we need to focus on because looking at our line last year, even the year before that, it was a few holes in there. We were leaning on Colton Miller a whole lot because we didn't know what we were getting out of JPJ. He played well for us, and then Glaze, you know, he was showing, but we weren't sure yet. And then there was other holes because he was a hole a little bit sometimes, and then the
Mhm.
interior was bad. So we do need to figure that out. But they did bring in Spencer Burford, right?
Right? Isn't that the
And
drafter? That's a drafty guy or no?
no, no, no. He came. Let me see. He came from the Niners. He played 11
Oh,
games.
that's
He
right.
started
That's
9 games for the Niners.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was their he was their backup guy. He was depth. But he did start
Right.
a lot of games. But he did start a lot of games and he performed. So yeah, maybe he's going to solidify the left guard. Which
Yeah.
would be all right with me. Right? Anything's better than having Meredith over there and getting trucked. You can't be having him getting trucked game after game after game because obviously everybody's going to know that he's the weak link. All I got to do is look at
Yeah.
last year's footage, bro. Last year's tape is going to tell him everything. If Meredith's on the line, they're going to be. We need to exploit him. At least I would. If I was a defensive coordinator, that's who I'd be going after every time.
They'll be running. They'll be running stunts through that gap all the time.
Yep.
They'll game all the time, right through that hole. Every time somebody come running through there, all the time.
Yep. Can't
Yeah,
have that.
but Burford, he primarily served as a left guard. He played for 457 snaps, but he did miss several weeks on IR due to a knee injury that he sustained in week 2. But he returned in week 9. So his PFF grade, he got a 58.9. He performed better in the run with his run blocking with a 62.6, and then in the pass protection, 48.5. So that's not good either. So we're gonna have to do something about that. He allowed 21 total pressures, including 2 sacks and 2 hits, while being flagged for only 2 penalties though. So he's not a penalty guy, but so that means he doesn't hold if he gets beat, but that might mean the quarterback get slapped.
Don't squeeze the Charmin.
Don't squeeze the Charmin. So, like you said, he was a key depth piece for that Niners team. So, can we find the dog in him and he start? If not, will he be like a solid backup with experience? Uh, do you think we should put him there? Give him a shot.
Yep, anything over Meredith. I don't have zero. And watching Meredith last year getting pushed back the way that he did, I have almost. And he's not even a left guard to begin with. He's a right. We played like you said. We played him on the right side, so I don't even want to even attempt to put him over there, dude. I think that's just a bad decision right from the gate. Like I'm telling you, he's the weak link. Right? Who's the weakest link? There you go. To me, it's him. And we need to address that because all the other teams know it is. It's not. It's on tape.
Yeah, one thing we do need to do though is we do need to get some depth. We played 11 linemen last year.
Mhm.
It's not uncommon for teams to shuffle lineups because of injuries and things like that. So maybe Meredith can be a depth player. Maybe Spencer Burford could be a depth player, and we can bring somebody in, draft somebody like you said, or whatever. But more depth players that we really haven't got to see a lot of was Charles Grant and Caleb Rogers,
Mhm.
and so we need to see more of them, right?
Yep.
And Charles Grant, he was a 3rd-round pick, 99th overall in the 25 draft. In his
That's what I
rookie
mean.
season, he played, huh?
That's what I mean. That's one of the guys that. That's one of the guys that we drafted last year. That we only got to see a little bit.
Yeah, he played a limited role. He did appear in 9 games, and he recorded 59 snaps. So that's not a whole lot. But he was primarily used as a backup and into the heavy package, playing 48 snaps at left tackle and 11 as an eligible tight end. But he did finish the season with a solid 70.1 PFF grade, though.
Well, that might be the answer right there.
So in the limited snaps, he showed some kind of promise, right?
Yep, that's what I'm saying. Maybe that's who we see. Maybe that's who we bring in next year and give him let him and Meredith fight it out if that's what you want. I don't know. See, bring in the competition. Let all three of them try and let all three of them fight for it. I don't mind. That's what I don't mind the competition because I want the best guy out there.
Yeah. Let's take a look at. Let me see.
What up, Eric?
Yeah. What's up with Eric Rader? Let's see what the guys say. Let's see what the chat Raider is talking about. You say, I wish. Yeah, I just really want this O-line to be complete. People flamed the O-line so much last year like it was a one-year thing. No, we've had a crappy O-line for 3 seasons.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's been pretty crappy.
This year before Meredith was okay. I agree. We were okay. We were okay the year before, but Gardner Minshew was running for his life.
Mm-hmm.
So we needed to fill up some holes, but it wasn't as bad as people were saying that it was. But now that when you look at the totality of last year and the year before that, neither one of them is something that we need to really to be excited about. But there's promise there. And E says we got Tyler to boost up the line. Hopefully we could keep the rest of them in line. I agree. So Charles Grant got a little bit of time last year. Hopefully he might come in and make a move. Another player we didn't get to see a lot of was Caleb Rogers.
Mr. Rogers?
Mr. Rogers. He was a rookie guard. He played and he started 6 games for the Raiders before his season was cut short. He recorded 284 offensive snaps, and he allowed 3 sacks, committing 1 penalty. He finished with a 59.6 PFF grade.
Right.
So he wasn't as good. I wouldn't say he was good as Grant, but he didn't get enough time. You never know. You got to give him some snaps. So maybe that's where our competition will be right now based on who we have.
Right. That's for shizzles. That's for shizzles.
So my question for y'all. How good can this O-line be next season? So this is how I want to look at it. Let's say if Colton Miller was a B, I'm gonna start with the ceiling, and then the ceiling grade and the floor grade. If Colton Miller was a B plus ceiling or B, and Tyler Linderbaum was an A to A minus, JPJ was a B plus to B, and DJ Glaze was a B minus to C plus, that'll give us a B minus grade overall. Probably like a B minus grade overall, just using those 4 guys, right? And then that starting guard will decide if we're going to be a C average O-line or a B average O-line, right? And the left guard play, if he play like a C, we're going to be mid.
Oh, yeah.
Around 15-ish somewhere. But if he plays like a B, we'll be top 15 for sure. And I'll go so far to say 12-ish, somewhere in there, 13-ish, you know?
That's what I was gonna say. Top 12.
Yeah, it depends on who we stick there. And that's why I told you guys earlier that left guard position is going to be the determining factor for us right there. So, in your opinion, how good can the O-line be? And I just broke it down by grades. I don't know if you agree with it so much, but how good do you think this O-line could be?
Like I said, I think we'll be about. I think the highest will be is maybe 11th or 12th, and the worst will be is probably 14th or 15th. But anywhere, like I said, I just want progression. You know, as long as we're progressing, and it doesn't look like we're getting run over every time we hike the ball, because that's what like you said it earlier. Pretty much every other play they were running that stunt and nobody was picking it up. I'm like, how come how come you haven't figured out to pick up that stunt yet? Like they did it all year to us, and like they couldn't teach them, hey, look you're getting clammed in with this guy, and then the other guy's coming around him, and the other guy ain't moving over to pick him up. So, I was just like, how long does it take to teach somebody to pick up a stunt, bro? Because they ran it all year on us, and there's nothing that we can do. Oh yeah, Jack Jones, huh? Okay. Well, they can have him. He was okay. Jack Jones, the Niners, they just signed him. But he was able to read a couple of plays, and score a couple of pick six touchdowns, but he wasn't the end all be all.
That boy was getting toasted out there, though.
Yeah, but he made a couple of plays. Like I said, he likes to read that short that wide receiver screen or whatever that short little wide receiver out pass, which is basically a wide receiver screen. He reads that and he jumps it. That's one thing he will do is he'll try and jump the play and pick it. And I like that, but when it comes to being one-on-one or doing what he needed, he gets toasted. He gets flamed.
Well, yeah, I mean, sure, you can jump a screen, like, sure, but how often does that even happen per year? Like, look at all the snaps that you got to actually guard somebody. Like, he went to another team and he didn't stay there, and now he with the Niners. That man is on his way out the league too. I like Jack Jones too. Don't get me wrong, but he ain't one of them. He ain't like that.
Yeah,
He ain't like that. No, I don't miss him. I don't even know why. I don't miss him. Let me just say that. But my question is, what kind of dog we need at that left guard? A bull mastiff? A bull mastiff? Or what was the kind you just said?
Millinois.
A Millinois. I never heard that. We might need one
Belgian
of them.
Millinois. They're a Belgian German Shepherd, is what they are. They're a cousin of the German Shepherd, the Millinois.
Okay.
You never seen those dogs that jump hella high and do all that and jump across fucking ravines and shit, and do all that crazy?
Yeah.
That's a Millinois, dude. Those things are super sick, bro. They're all over the place, but they like to work, and you have to be a certain kind of owner. Not everyone can own one of these dogs, just like not everybody can own a Cane Corso or a Kegel or a Kegel or Kegel, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You can't. Not anybody can just own one of those dogs, because those dogs are bully dogs, bro. And if you ain't on your shit, they will fucking try and kill you. They will run you over. And even as their owner, they need somebody who's in control and confident. You can't just have some old lady trying to own one of these dogs. In fact, when I see a lady walking a pit bull, I'm like, she can't handle that dog, let alone a Rottweiler or a German Shepherd. If that dog really wants to go off, she's going to get drugged down the block. And those are just facts. Like, so, yeah. That shit makes me nervous when I see girls walking big ass dogs, bro. Like, I wonder, we had that case out here in San Francisco with that Canary Corso. Remember that dog Bane out in the city in San Francisco? And this broad was fucking her dog. They were doing all kinds of crazy shit with this dog. And then they said, oh, well, the dog smelt the fear and just went off, and they couldn't control. Exactly. So why are you trying to have a dog that you can't even control? You sick bitch. Why are you fucking with your own dog? That's some gross ass shit, man. There's some weird people out here. I got to tell you, man. Like, that's just goofy to your boy. Some dogs shouldn't. Certain people shouldn't own dogs, bro. You know, like that's a real dangerous dog. Even pit bulls, dude. There's a guy down here in Linderbaum left his pit bull who had nuts on him. Right, he took off. They took off for the family took off for a vacation. They had one of their friends or their neighbor come over here and watch the dog and feed it. And in the process of doing that, the dog fucking had killed her, attacked her and killed her, bro. Because when they sense fear, dude, they're on you. They know it. They can feel it. They know it. They sense it. And as soon as they sense that fear, bro, they're on you like fucking flies on shit. And if the owner ain't there to pull them off, it's a done deal. Once you go down on all fours, you're on their level, bro. And there's no way that you can get away from that, bro. My boy had an Akita. Here's the story. My boy had an Akita, and the mailman came to his door and gave his dog a pack. Gave the guy the package, and he seen the dog, and he turned and ran. And my boy's dog ran out the house. The guy's name is Gar, the mailman, and he fell down, and my boy's dog took a 50-cent piece hunk out of his forehead. How about that? He's lucky he was alive. What up, Bueno?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be the mailman just for that reason. I need to have a gun.
Well, you can't run, dude. As soon as you run, you turn away. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. That's dogs. You entice the chase. I don't give a fuck if it's a grizzly bear, bro. You run from any predator, it's going to chase you. That's its instinct. You can't do that. I blame the mailman for that dumb shit. But luckily he didn't sue my boy. He's like, he told the cop because everybody showed up, right? A big old piece of, it looked like a fucking a peach ring on the ground, bro, like a peach ring. I was like, oh, check that shit out. And he's like, I need to get back to work. I got mail to deliver. And the post lady, the head post lady came over and said, no, you're not. You got to go to the hospital. My boy got lucky that the guy didn't sue him, dude. Hella lucky.
You talking about being dedicated to the job? That's being dedicated to the job. That'd have been the last thing I'd have been worried about. That'd have been the last thing I'm worried about. But all those things you described, that's what we need out of our O-line. We need to bully. We need to attack. We need to sense fear until our leader calls them off, until Kubiak calls them off. Yep. And I really think we can go from 32nd to 15. Like, I really believe that we could do that, barring injury. I'm talking about catastrophic injury. I ain't talking about 1 or 2 games or nothing like that, because that's to be expected. But we definitely need to shore up that left guard position, because Meredith, I just don't see how he fits anywhere on the interior. Like, I don't see how he fit on this line, period, but especially the interior.
Yeah.
So
I got another dog story for you, okay? I was on my 11th birthday, September 9th. It's a couple of days before my birthday. This dude came up here, and I guess it was 1983, maybe, or 1981. And my neighbor down the street came up here and asked my dad to help him adjust his carburetor and shit. So we go down there, and my dad was working on my bike outside. So we go down there, and your boy fucking, the guy had his pit bull tied up on, they had stairs that come down and then went on a platform and then went down again. His dog was chilling on this platform here, and I seen him, and he started growling. So the guy that was in front, I was in the middle, and my dad was behind me. And so as soon as he started growling and barking, I kind of hesitated for a second, and my dad pushed me, which kind of gave me a little startle. And that dog just jumped, dude. I got my arm up just in time. He grabbed my shit, locked on. It was pretty terrifying, bro. Pretty terrifying. I dream about that shit every night.
Man.
That's so my arm's all fucked up, dude. I got scars on that shit.
I remember growing up, running from dogs my whole life. And we used to run through we had to, because the dogs used to always be in the same neighborhoods. We used to walk to go to school, and you got to damn near jump on a car like at least once or twice on the way to school, like for real, and have some rocks, a stick, whatever. Like it used to be like that. But like you said, they could tell, they could sense fear for sure.
Yeah, well, back in the day, they didn't have all these leash laws. Motherfuckers just let their dogs run loose and shit. Oh, my dog got out of the yard.
Right,
Sorry. Well, sorry,
right.
don't help you killed it. It didn't help me. I didn't even, I was invited there. And the only reason why that dog let go is because the owner came down with some steel toe boots and kicked him right in the chest, bro. Made him suck wind. That's the only way you can get them to unlock, bro. You got to get them to suck wind. You got to knock the wind out of them.
And, well, I guess I'll pull out a dog story too, because this is for my dogs. This is for my dogs. So I had a pit bull. I only had one pit bull in life. I've always had German shepherds. I learned to train them and went to school and everything to train them. My dad, and I talked them into. Well, actually, somebody got me a pit bull pup for my birthday, and then the dog grew up. I used to have to get up, and on Mondays used to be garbage day. And back, like you say, back in the Gap, the garbage man used to come in your backyard and get your garbage cans. We didn't sit them on the curb. So I would have to get the dog, and then one morning I missed it, and he went back there, and he attacked the garbage man. And then after that, we took the dog fishing, but he didn't come back.
Yeah, I mean the guy's lucky that I didn't sue him for fucking his house, bro. I could have sued him for his fucking house. But I was just fuck it, Like my whole shit is fucking tore up, bro. My bicep and shit, he fucked up my bicep and my tricep forever. Like,
dang, that's pretty serious. What up, Jack?
If that's another reason why your boy don't work out too much, because if you get to working and that fucking muscle dies, my whole arm dies, bro. And they said that's definitely something that could happen. So your boy's always just been like, So yeah, that's just dogs ain't no joke, bro. They can be ruthless.
Well, that's what we need. That's what we need. We need them dogs to come out this year. We need them dogs to come out. So AE said, Black, I've known you from Ben Show. Seem really chill, dude. Just subscribe. Thanks, you're official part of the chat raiders. Good looking. Yeah, so the thing about that is, right, and shout out to Raider Ben. Make sure y'all go to Raider Ben's and subscribe. We'll have a show tonight, actually, and check him out. The thing about that is I am chill by default. By default, I am a chill dude, right? But on those shows, I'm a little bit more animated because as I'm chilling, I'll be hearing so many things. So it all builds up, and then I gotta kind of like let it go. So, and I gotta check it at the door when I see it, So that's how I know I'm kind of like bipolar. I'm actually tripolar. Don't try me. So that's kind of how I am. But by default, I am a chill dude. So, but thanks for subscribing. I hope the rest of you guys consider doing the same. Hey, but Bueno said I didn't even notice.
I got ADHD like a motherfucker, bro. I will fucking snap.
Right. That's what essentially I'll be doing. I'll be snapping. So the question is, what position do you want to fill at 36? I already know who you want. And guess what? Somebody else agrees. Let me see. What was it? I saw it on here. Here we go. That's the name you want at 36.
Lee Hunter,
Lee Hunter at 36.
There's a couple other guys that they're there. There's a guy from Miami, Raider Films did a little thing on him. I asked him, I hit him up in the chat and asked him to do some work on do a little program on Lee Hunter. He hasn't done it yet, but he does some good breakdowns. That guy does some good breakdowns on film and stuff. The guy he's looking at just needs a little bit polishing. You know, these guys just need to be polished a little bit. You know, they got to get the right coaching staff to help polish them right. You know, it don't do you no good. Talent's only going to take you so far, and then you need coaching. All right, coaching is going to make Larry Bird or Michael Jordan wouldn't be Michael Jordan without the coaching. They got talent, but they also need to be coached up. You got to learn how to do it, how to be a professional, bro. And the only way you do that is by going out and learning from people who are professionals. Like a high school coach is only going to take you so far. You know, just like a little league coach, a good coach, or a good trainer, or a good boxing coach, right? Is going to say, hey, you know, you've outgrown me, bro. You need to go somewhere else. Now, a selfish motherfucker will be like, nah, you know, he'll be like, no, I'll keep coaching you, right? But a real genuine person knows when somebody outgrows them, bro. You know, like Tyson and Customato, right?
Exactly. I mean, Jordan only had Phil Jackson, right?
Yeah, no, but before that, I'm talking about before that, when you're growing up, dude. You know, from Little League, from, you know, AYSO or whatever that is that you're playing, right? City ball, and then you go to high school, right? And at a certain point, you're going to outgrow that coach. And if you haven't, and, you know, and the coaches that don't want to admit that they've been outgrown are a problem because they're holding you back. A real coach will say, hey, man, you know, I just don't got enough I can't teach you anymore. I've taught you everything that I can teach you. Here's somebody else who might be able to teach you more, who knows more than me. And that's a humble coach. A lot of coaches don't have that humble ability in them.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. Hey, won't you guys drop in the chat and in the comment the area code that the nation is representing? Where are you at? We need to know where you guys at so we can let everybody know that we represent from the earth is our turf, actually. We got the most iconic colors in football. So put in the chat where you from. For sure, for sure.
Right on, Jack. Thanks for subscribing, bro.
Yeah, thank you, brother. And if you enjoy content like this, consider subscribing and join the Chat Raiders. Like this video because real Raider content is back and it's on the rise. Make sure y'all check out part 1 and 2 to this series we got. The first one was the Raiders will win the Super Bowl if they keep this up. And the second one is, will Clint Kubiak become the best Raider coach since John Madden? And y'all make sure y'all hack in for part 4 on Monday when we talk about the skills position, the wide receivers, the running backs, the tight ends. And then Wednesday sometime we'll start talking about the defense and the special teams. Wow. And then, you know, the defensive coaches. We're going from the top down, not the player up. I'm telling you, we're building something very, very special here. So I'm breaking down a little bit each position so that, you know, while it's kind of slow during the season, let's see what our nucleus is, because you win championships in the off season. You win championships in the off season. And our off season is really starting to look really, 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 really good. Jack, thanks for subscribing. You officially Chat Raider. Okay. The home of the assassin, New Jersey, see? From the East Coast. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. I love it. Yeah,
wow,
and then so, you know, next week. All right, bro.
Right on.
And then we're going to conclude the series this week, Commitment to New Excellence. And I want to thank you, Pizzle, for showing up. You already know, brother. I want to thank the Chat Raiders. And, you know, I'm a Raider. I'm a Raider. From the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. I'm a Raider, though.
I'm a Raider, though.